Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
All right. Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to say is brought to you by Dispose LLC, the garbage company that I am one that you will be calling to make sure all your trash needs is taken care of. It's not just me, I have a great crew.
Right.
That's polite, that's out there to do things for you. All you got to do is just give us a call and I can show you all the things that we can do at Dispose LLC.
Yes.
Now I got to get back to the person who's been rocking with me for the last 4 years. Come what? September the 17th. That's in 2 weeks. Crabmatic, how you doing, big baby?
I'm doing good, Jay.
You still
real good,
dapper
bro.
and smiling and things.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna never lose that smile.
Man.
Sometimes that's all we got.
Say hi, blow, blow, girl.
Yes, sir.
I like that. I like that.
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
Man, you know, I gotta admit, it's been rough keeping the happiness going, but I've been injecting it. Been doing fairly well, and one of the things I gotta say is quit looking down, look up, and continue to see the blessings instead of the trip overs.
Yes.
I like to say I look down all the time to make sure I don't trip, but I realize if you understand where you're going, you do less tripping and more stepping.
Yes.
Let's step in the right direction.
Yes.
And for once, not always in the name of love. But, all right, I'm getting off tangent. I'm getting off
Right,
tangent.
right.
Let's get back to what we do, big dog.
That reminds me of a passage, and I can't remember the name of the passage itself, but it says that we are in league with the stones of the field.
Okay.
And that means that we're being guided through these stones, that our feet are not going to dash against the stone because we're being guided, and the stones might even be protecting us, or they might even be guiding us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are in league with the stones of the field, and nothing shall trip us up or make us fall.
Okay.
So just keep that happiness going. That's what I'm talking
Well,
about.
that's what I'm talking about. I like that stone thing you just said because, see, now I know why my haters keep following.
Yeah.
It ain't meant for them.
Right.
This is my journey.
There
This
you
is my
go.
path. And they
There you
want
go.
to take over and do things.
There you
It
go.
ain't for you.
There you go. A great way to introduce our show. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Crabmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And of course, we are here to have a fantastic dialogue and have you to participate from your own seat. And hopefully we can get some therapy going here. Everybody's going to grow just a little bit throughout this show
Okay.
because we like to talk about subjects real deep. And we like to get to the heart and soul of the subject, what's going on underneath it. There's a lot of different opinions and perspectives and experiences here. And so we want you to kind of look in the mirror of our dialogue and see yourself and find a way to make some good, clear decisions about how you're going to handle these situations as you move forward in your life. We are most certainly grateful for you being here. And
Yes, we
this
are.
is not a quick fix show.
No.
We do a 2-hour program. And I truly believe the second half of the show is always better than the first half because we go so deep into these discussions.
I vote for the first.
Enjoy. And we always start the show off with a prayer. I didn't know Jay.
Oh, no, man. Give it to him, Pastor.
Okay. Tonight we're going to pray over victory. Right? That we're all facing some things and some stuff. There's always some, looks like some mountains. Even if things are going smooth right now, you can kind of see the mountains on the horizon. And they're coming because you are moving fast and you're getting things done and you're making things happen. But there's going to be some real challenges that you have to overcome in order to achieve your goal. And one of the things that I want you to always keep in mind is the spirit of victory.
Okay.
Right? It is the spirit of victory that'll organize the things and stuff in life and make sure that you end up or wind up victorious. Right? And so all we need to do is just pray for the spirit of victory. You know, one of the things I like, just a side note, in Proverbs, it always talks about praying to wisdom, because wisdom was there when the Lord created the earth and the heavens and etc. Wisdom was right there. And so we needed to speak over wisdom. We need to call forth wisdom. And now today we're going to call forth victory. Right? All right, but let's get this done. Heavenly Father, we thank you right now for just the opportunity to be here, do another great show, and have these wonderful people to watch and participate in our show from afar. We thank you, Father, tonight for victory. We ask, Father, for the spirit of achievement, that you would advance our lives, Father, that you would defeat every enemy and every stronghold that is attempting to come against us, That you would allow us, Father, to gain favor in your eyes and favor in the world. Even favor in the eyes of man, a divine favor is what we're asking for, Father. That you would lead us into triumph and winnings, Father. That you would give us dominion and supremacy here in this world and in our lives. And on the flip side, Father, we ask that you would overcome every sense of failure. Whether it be in our past, whether it be in our spirit, or even potentially our future. Destroy and deny failure from our lives, Father. Cut every loss and give us the feeling, Father, of dominion again and no longer inferiority or weakness. Make us strong, Father. And we ask that you would be here in this show tonight and that you would speak your perfect word through us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Ooh, crap. Ooh. You was trying to judge everybody in one little small section there, right?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to. You know, I laid it out. You know, that's the thing that makes it easy. I laid it out. See, one of the things that is, I think, missing from a lot of prayer life is that you got to set up prayer, right? That if you just close your eyes and start praying, your mind is still bouncing off the walls.
Right.
But if you go into mind and say, you know what, I'm gonna pray over this issue. This is the issue I'm gonna spend the next 3 minutes over.
Okay.
And you spend 3 minutes just laser focus on that issue. That's where you bring all your spiritual power, right?
Okay.
There you go. The Lord didn't just say, let's create the world, and the world created. He said, let there be light, right? And then he moved on to create every other thing in its own time, in its own particular way in space. You know what I mean? So that's what we have to do. We got to create deliberately. And prayer, leading our prayers toward victory, man, is a great way to, you know, like it's going to change tomorrow for all of us. Anybody who hears this prayer and believe in it, that tomorrow we're going to experience victory. I always test the theory by saying I'm going to receive good news tomorrow.
Okay.
And so we're going to receive good news tomorrow. Okay?
Hey, I need it.
You believe it?
Yeah, I believe it.
You believe it?
Yes. Matter of fact, it can call me right now.
Well, listen, they're going to call.
Okay.
I want you to be ready.
All right.
Are you ready to
My
receive?
phone right now.
Are you ready
It's
to-
on vibrate.
Are you ready to receive?
I'm ready to
Jay?
shake it up, baby. Let them call me.
Okay.
I'm right here. I'll show
The
you.
blessing is coming.
I'm ready for it.
They might knock at your door, Jay.
Okay, now hold on now.
Good news.
Depends on who delivered it.
It doesn't matter who's delivering good news.
Well, it depends.
Nah, shit,
I got some folks
well,
that
you got some clousets.
Yeah.
You got some skeletons in your closet.
Well, that's
right?
why we do the show.
That's why we do the show.
We try to air them out.
There you go.
You try to bring them out too soon. But yeah, we get to
It ain't gonna be me.
them.
But good news is coming tomorrow,
That's
folks.
right, that's right.
Trust and believe. Good news is coming tomorrow.
All right.
Let's move on to last week's topic. It was a great topic. We talked about can't change people. What was your reflection on the show, Jay?
And the whole thing about that is when you get into some things, a lot of times you do want to enhance a person. You want somebody to see some things, but just to feel like you can change somebody. That's where you starting to change your role to be more dominant. Because normally you try to change somebody, you try to control somebody. So a lot of times you're not always trying to control. Sometimes I'm trying to help. But the best way you can help is really just to give it back to them. They got to accept. And a lot of times we push our will and our way on somebody. And that's why it causes a little bit of chaos and confusion.
Yeah.
Because they're not willing to accept what you're trying to give them.
Yeah.
And that's why we have problems today. And that's why there's some people that say, yeah, she ain't what I want, but I can make her into what I really want.
Right.
Or I heard some people say on the other end, I can build him.
Right.
I can make him, he ain't got all what I want, but when I get done with him, I'll build him up, and he will be. And again,
and if that's the drill sergeant or the coach, or if that's the president of the company saying I can build them, I can lead them, I can get them there. That's one thing. But if you're in a relationship and you're trying to change somebody, especially if they don't know you're trying to change them, there's probably going to be a lot of friction going on right there, right? Especially even if they know you're trying to change them. Okay? The reality is that you can't change people, but you can dramatically influence people. You can make an impact in people's lives. You can get what you want from people if you play your cards right. Now, you're not going to come at somebody sideways and get what you want. It's never going to happen that way. Right? And that's why one of the statements I made last week was we have to always be closing. Okay, and I don't mean it in a real harsh way. I don't mean that we should always be kind of selling the dream, but we have to not only try to take care of our needs, but sometimes we need to be even taking care of other people's needs. I know you gonna go.
I'm wondering what needs you're talking about. There's a couple things. Did you know you might have signed this form? But I got you.
I'm losing my train of thought. Let me see if I can apply the idea, right? If your wife spent too much money, you probably gonna take her card from her, right? Now, you don't want to have to change her, but you got to force feed the change, right? So sometimes you got to impress yourself upon people in order to get them to be their best possibility, and they might think you're being judgmental because you're trying to change them,
right?
But if you tell your son to pull his pants up, then what you're really doing is trying to inspire him to be more professional, more like the guy who he's aspiring to be, et cetera, to look the part, or whatever the case may be.
Not look that part.
Yeah, not look that part.
And let's just talk on that just a little bit more,
not
because
that part.
How in the world can my child have his pants hanging down and hold the underwear? How you gonna do both? Now good and wait.
Jay, I would probably go back to the child's raising. What you did to that boy?
I probably whooped him so hard I put holes in his drawer. And I guess he's showing the world what I did. He should have went on ahead and changed them out.
Yeah. He can't see that, so
he can't. But we sure can.
I'm gonna blame you. For
yeah,
that,
you can't, because I ain't never wanted to wear them in the first place. So I just talk about it. I do. I be like, yo, you do know they got holes in them, right? And I wouldn't know that if your pants wasn't hanging down off your behind. Not like I told you.
If you are in the mindset that you can walk through the mall and the grocery store and the convenience store with your pants hanging off your ass.
With holes.
With
air conditioning.
Holes or not. If you are in the mindset that you can walk through the world like that, then you are not of the mindset for those people who are typically trying to be major up-and-comers. Right?
Right.
That doesn't fit there. Now, it doesn't say that you can't do it.
Right.
And I would imagine there are a lot of very professional and successful artists and people who may walk around with their pants hanging off their ass. But I don't imagine they could go into their corporate America office with the pants hanging off their ass, even though they might be the greatest rapper, done the greatest show, prison ministry, who knows? You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. But, you don't judge people, but you might speak up to somebody who's doing that. You might say, hey, pull your pants up.
I have no choice.
Pull your pants up.
You work for me. That's not going to be a look I'll care for people to see.
Right.
So if you come over here to dispose and you think you're going to have that look, I'm just going to help you out. Right. Stay where you at.
And so a lot of the change, a great point, a lot of the change that really takes place in people, especially in the work environments, is accountability.
Mm-hmm.
How do you create accountability in a relationship? That's a little more difficult to do. And I think, it comes down to this, and I think it always has come down to this. There's going to be 2 or 3 boxes with every person that must be checked.
Okay.
That you have to check these boxes or that person is not a good fit in your life. Right? And so there are going to be several other things outside of those 3 or 4 boxes that kind of, rub you the wrong way.
Right.
But you're going to have to figure out how to deal with it, how to live with it, how to change yourself.
Okay.
Right?
I work on the art.
You're going to have to figure out how to change the way you handle it or the way you deal with it. Because ultimately, if they're doing something that aggravates you, you're the only one aggravated. You all out there by yourself. You all in your feelings all by yourself.
I've been on that boat.
Somebody did something to you. You sitting at home, moping, pouting, aggravated, frustrated, crying, pouting, whatever that happens to be, and you are sitting there in agony alone because they gone doing their thing. Right?
Because if they was there, we'd be moving some furniture.
Exactly right. So you can't sit in agony. You have to change your mind. Right? You have to change your mind. Hey, I'm not going to let this bother me anymore. Or, hey, he's going to go out, I'm going to go out. She's going to go out, I'm going to go out. Oh, if they're going to do that, well, you know what? Let me see what the rest of the world might hold for me. And once you start changing yourself, they will see it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll absolutely see it, and they just might decide to turn around or turn over a new leaf if they see the other side of you, right?
Well,
Can you imagine a guy who he's kind of been, this quiet cheater for a number of years,
Mm-hmm.
and she's kind of known about it, but she ain't never said nothing, right? And all of a sudden, after several years, she's put up with it. She done noticed it.
Uh-huh.
She ain't said nothing. She kept her mouth shut. That one day she just snapped and decided to go out herself.
Mm.
And she put on that nice last pretty dress present that you got her for her birthday.
Okay.
And she gonna go out to see the rest of the world without you.
Right.
That's when a lot of men will, or potentially women in that situation will want to change. But by then, it's almost too late.
Yeah.
They really should have played that card much earlier. Huh?
Yeah, I'm about to say by that time you should might as well just run on out there and do whatever you do because
They was like,
they ain't doing what they doing.
they'll be like, but damn, baby, this how it's always been. Why you switching up on me now? You the one wrong because you switching up.
Oh, it's gonna be a fight.
It is. Listen, let me go ahead and share our quote for the day, so we can introduce tonight's topic and get our first break in. It is a very, very good quote, and I don't believe we have the time we need to do it all the justice, but I want to put it out there because it's so powerful. It goes like this, and this is from Barb. He couldn't be here with us tonight. God bless Barb. Macon, Georgia in the house. It goes like this. I used to pray that God would feed the hungry, or do this or that. But now I pray that He will guide me to do whatever I'm supposed to do, whatever I can do. I used to pray for answers, but now I pray for strength. I used to believe that prayer changes things, but now I know that prayer changes us and changes things. And we just finished talking about prayer, so I don't know if we need to crush that one too much, but what's your thoughts on it, Jay?
I really like how the fact that she was praying for him to fix. And there's a lot of time what we have to do is get a better understanding what we can do to fix. Because he has us down here to do work as well. So I like that because a lot of time people pray for him to fix the problem. And a lot of time we have to do our part. So when we're asking, we also have to be doing. So it's a working prayer. And a lot of time people just want an action prayer. I pray that he fix all this, and I'm just going to sit over here in my cocktail and my girlfriend, and I'm just going to chill. But he got this with no work effort behind it. Where I'm hearing her say she changed up her prayer. For she can understand what he has for her to do to fix this problem that she said.
Yes.
And then it calls to action. And I like that because I really feel like action is needed right now. The chaos that's going on right now doesn't have to be because if we get back to loving and caring, we will get back to where we need to be, not where sometimes people are designing us to go.
Yeah.
It's not always for our better good.
That's powerful, Jay. That's super powerful. I just want everybody listening to this show to just lean on prayer a little bit more, right? Time to go? All right. It's time to get out of here. Let's go ahead and introduce the topic for tonight. Tonight's topic is negativity ruining your relationships? Is negativity ruining your relationships? And man, we got a lot to say about that. So you folks stay tuned. We're going to be right back after this break. Y'all hold on. All right. Welcome back.
Man, oh man, oh man.
More Bar Talk with Jay.
Building.
Yes, sir. That was a good segment, man.
Man, it
That was
was.
a good segment. I love how we just wrap up a real strong segment with the prayer and the last week's show. Love that stuff.
Man, and then Barb went in hardcore with her little quote.
She did. She did.
Man.
You know, that was too much of a quote to even cover. You know what
It's
I mean?
okay, because I think it'll be covering throughout the show. But now, let's go back to this topic, man.
All right. Tonight we're talking about, is negativity ruining your relationships? And I guess I'll probably start this one off by saying,
Feel free.
all relationships that are ruined are ruined with some form of negativity. I don't believe there is a relationship that ever parted ways in the history of mankind that did not have some perception of negativity in it, right? And so,
I did a lot of relationships.
the question is ruining isn't always sometime meaning that the relationship is ruined. It's just causing the relationship to be hard. It's
Right.
just causing the relationship to be always on edge,
Mhm.
or or just it's causing 2 or 3 days a week where we don't speak to one another, or it's causing me not to want to bring you flowers, or you not to want to fix me dinner, or the kids can see it, or maybe the neighbors hear it, right?
Well, with the hearing, crap, with the hearing.
So,
Mhm.
it doesn't necessarily mean that you broke up, but negativity could still be ruining the love that you could have with this person, right?
Right.
And so, the question becomes, is what are those negative things that are ruining the relationship?
Well, you don't even want to come over here with them.
And what's some things that have? I mean, just look at your, relationship. Let's say 2 or 3 of your biggest, greatest relationships, Jay. Right?
2 or 3.
Just listen now. 2
Okay.
or 3, right? And there's 1 or 2 things in each of those relationships. What would those be? If there were 4 or 5 things in the midst of those major relationships, what was the negativity that ruined the relationship?
Attitude.
Okay, bad attitude.
And kept it. No matter what things we did to try to make it positive, as in going out, doing things that she didn't do. Again, I want to see her put a smile on her face. So I'm trying to do some things that she mentioned that she'll like to do. So you start doing them, and she still has a funky attitude. Where
Right.
I mean, it was fun, but it wasn't all that. At least I did it.
Why would you say some shit like that?
But
I'm appalled that people say that. You know what? That's an outstanding.
So you about to go out.
thing. That's outstanding, bro. Because that's the kind of shit shit that don't need to be. I'm sorry for cussing, folks. I don't usually say
That's
these
all right.
kind of words, but
I do
I'm
a lot of
feeling.
it.
You see, I'm feeling some genuineness in
Oh
my
yeah,
spirit, right?
I felt it when
Why
you
would you
first
say
jumped out.
something so sideways? What is the purpose of that? And listen, it happens a lot.
Well, I know.
It happens a lot.
It happened to me a lot.
Those little, the bad attitude produces, rolls of the eyes, and it produces, me treating you in a certain way, me not helping you with this, or me not doing that, and bad attitude will absolutely kill a relationship.
All the
right?
time. I had one that wasn't even a relationship. I couldn't let it be a relationship because all she came with is negativity. Everything that ever happened was negative. Everything she talked about was negative. I couldn't pick up the phone and have a conversation with her without her talking about a coworker or somebody in her life. And everything that somebody approached her, everything was negative. And it's like,
And you know what, Jay? I have experienced numerous people like that as well, and they don't seem to realize that they're talking negatively.
I don't know why not, because I tell them in a heartbeat. I'll
I
be
mean,
like,
think about this now. Like, really look at the situation. They really are not aware that they are talking negatively.
they might not.
They might just think they're expressing themselves, but everybody in the world can look at what they say and see that they always go down.
Yep.
They always think less than. They always think of worst case. They always got a negative comment to make. They always, but they can't seem to see themselves, right? And I've known in numerous relationships that ended that way. It's like, man, everything I say, she's going to the left. I can't even try to agree with her. Right?
Can't do no good.
Right.
You already know it's going to end negative.
Man, I swear I went home. I said, I'm going to agree with everything she said tonight. We ended up in an argument.
And she happy.
Listen.
And she
You
get
know
happy.
what? You know what? Because she likes that. I don't know if I can't really say that they like negativity, but they like the friction interaction. And it could be attention. It could be something that, let me just, sometimes people just want to poke at you. You know what I'm saying? They just
For
want
no good
to
reason.
mess with you for no reason. Maybe because it makes them feel better about themselves.
But you
It makes
poking a bear.
It makes them feel powerful. I know, Jay. But again, we're talking about the negativity that ruins relationships.
I know.
That negative talk And that, if you ain't got nothing but a negative story for me, really, I want to hear what you got to say because I'm concerned about what you're thinking about, how you feel, and where you're going and where your head's at. But man, it can be so taxing. And it's not just spousal relationships, it's just around the world, right? You go into the office or talking to somebody at the grocery store or whatever the case may be, it seems like people are always thinking downwardly, right? People are riddled with fear, especially in nowadays climate. And all they want to talk about is the problem, the germ, the virus, you know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, we're going to be all right, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that, And we even have some people who are coming into the dealership who get quite upset because everybody is not practicing the full measure of social distancing. And we do practice it, but we practice it in a little different way. I'm not going to put on a mask until I have a client with a mask on. And unless I feel uncomfortable with that client, right? But I'm still a salesman, and I still keep my space, and they doing test drives by themselves, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the whole point is that there's so much negativity going on that it's almost like consuming. It's like everybody wants to have a conversation about the problem, about the pain, about the challenge. And it's pretty rare that you meet people who are actually wanting to talk about, next generation and looking forward and making things happen and excited about life. Like, how many people out of 10 do you meet who are really, you feel like they're kind of excited about life?
Out of 10, recently I 1 to 2.
1 to 2.
1 to 2.
1 to 2.
It's not as many.
Yeah.
It's, right now we're at a pandemic, so more people are more cautious. They're more scared. But I get a couple people be like, regardless of this, man, we got to live our lives to the fullest.
Yeah.
But they got the energy. You can feel the energy. You got some other people that's going to ride the coattail.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing I can tell you about change, is when you come in with that positive charge and you taking that positive look at life compared to the negativity of everybody talking, you make change. Because now all of a sudden, everybody was talking about what the president said and what's going down, and man, we don't know what's going on. They like their chaos. Misery loves company. Then you come in there talking about, all right, something, there's some good things going on right now, and guess what? We can add to the pot. We can do this right here to get us in a better position. And everybody like, oh, well, what you so excited about? Well, why you want to? We all talking about the end of the world, and here you go trying to add to some stuff we already doing. Because I'm not looking for the end of the world.
Right.
I'm looking to better my journey. Because if you just look for the end of the world, you gave up.
Right.
I'm not trying to give up, and I'm trying to inspire you not to give up. Because there's a lot more work we need to do. They make you feel this way. You don't have to feel that way.
So I got 2 things I want to cover here before we go to break. Let's talk about this negativity a little bit more, and then I want to kind of finish off this segment with bad attitude. Right.
Okay.
So, and now we're talking about in the world, we kind of ebb and flow, as you know, folks. We kind of ebb and flow all throughout this show. Sometimes we're talking about relationships. Sometimes we're talking about what the relationships you have in business. Sometimes we're talking about the relationships you have with your neighbor, etc. But we want this dialogue to be meaningful, and we don't know how it's impacting you. So we're just covering it in the best way we know how, and from the most reasonable perspectives. So, what do you do with negative people, Jay? How do you deal with that?
Well, one, I try to listen to them, and it does get tiresome. But don't get me wrong, I listen to them because I try to see if it's going to stay that way. Somebody might be giving me a negative situation, but they're not negative. They're just giving me that negative vibe of what they sense or what they heard and want my opinion. So at that point, I'm not judging them by the contents of what they're giving me. But what I'm looking for is it's going to continue. Like, is every story this negative? Everything you bring to me like this? So I try to listen, and again, as I'm listening, I'm trying to find out things I can point back to them to answer questions that they're basically asking me about whatever situation was going on because they want my opinion. So I try to base it off the information they gave me, not just all my personal.
Yeah.
More of them.
Yeah.
So
we should be listening. We really should be listening from a pure standpoint. Because this is a person to a person, and if somebody is saying some stuff to you, if anybody, I get conversations with 15, 18, 20 people in a typical day, right? And each person that I'm having a conversation with, I'm typically going to be like I'm going to be on the other side of the glass. I'm not separated from them, but I'm not going to be attached to what they have to say. And so if they start talking negatively, I'm just going to be like, oh, well, then, this guy needs somebody to talk to, right? This guy needed to vent a little bit. He needs somebody to understand his pain. Or maybe I can start to hear that, what he really wants is somebody to just guide him. And so I start saying something positive, and I'll lead him in a positive direction. But I'm not going to get attached to the negativity. And even if the negativity is coming directly at me, somebody's upset with me, a customer's upset, or a spouse is upset with you, even if the negativity is coming directly at you, that somebody's got to be poised enough to maintain even temperament. Right?
Now, that ain't easy, but yes.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to be poised enough to just listen. So if negativity is coming at you, whether it's just coming at you in a conversational way or if it's coming directly at you, you got to poise yourself. You got to brace yourself so that you don't get attached to what they say. If somebody happens to be disrespectful enough to call you stupid, then you got to know that you are not what they called you. You are seeing it from a different perspective. You're now looking down on them like, wow, you are really little because you are using such words like that. You're really small, so you have to regain and reassess your composure. What you think, Jay?
I'm about to whoop your ass. You don't come at me like that. Don't hold up. I ain't show that kind of negativity to you. Don't bring that to me.
I saw it.
I don't like it when somebody directly at me,
right?
And then gonna say, "Well, I ain't talking to you," but you in my face.
Right.
Too close.
Yeah.
COVID-19, and you giving me this negativity, and you expect me not to be emotional with you. My whole thing is, look what you bringing me.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, I'm not trying to bring that to you.
That's
so
right.
watch what you bring to me.
That's right.
And then if you're, something, my bad.
Yeah. You know what my dad always said? He said, Junior, it's too easy to be nice. He said, but when people start giving you their ass to kiss, he said, that's when you put a foot in it.
Right there.
Right, and he said, and he's not meaning literal, but he basically used to always use the word. Said, Junior, you ain't got to take nobody's stuff. You know what I mean? Either they come correct, or you stay away from them. They don't come at all, right? And so he said, no matter how deep the troubles are, you know what I mean? Everybody just maintain a certain amount of composure because words will stir up the fight. Right?
Get it popping, as they say.
About. Yeah. So we only got maybe 1 minute, even if that, maybe a couple minutes here. I want to talk about bad attitudes. Bad attitudes in a relationship. Again, we're talking about, is negativity ruining your relationships? And if a bad attitude is the negativity that's ruining your relationships, it may look something like grudges.
Mm-hmm.
It may look like spitefulness.
What?
Vengefulness. You ever seen vengefulness? Right? What about popping off at the mouth? Smart alecky. Always saying something sideways.
I'm used to that.
Right? But this is the form that these bad attitudes that are ruining your relationship come in. Mm-hmm. And so, if they're too hot and heavy, this ain't the place you need to be. Right? Let's just put that out there before we go to break. If you're getting too much bad attitude and too much heat, and all he wants to talk about is something negative, you are not equally yoked. You are not supposed to be there. You cannot change them, as we talked about last week. You need to accept the love that you can and move on to find your greatest love. Mm-hmm. Because all they're going to do is continue to stir up this nonsense. This year, you talked about it, you pushed for it, you was patient with it. And then 10 years later, you still talking about the same crap.
And they ain't changing nothing.
Ain't nobody changing nothing because they don't have a reason to change.
No. You ain't changed, they ain't going to change.
And by 10 years, you fed up. Long before 10 years, you fed up. So the relationship is it really needs to be changed. And, that's a whole nother show. Why do we continue to do things that we know we need to change? And that's something crazy.
Comfortable.
But yeah, it could be. So it is time for us to take our next break. I love where this conversation is going.
We're coming back when we get next.
Yeah, and I don't know what we got coming up next, but y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. Yeah, man, we did that segment. That was good stuff right there, man.
Hey.
I think that's a natural place to start when we talk about the negativity ruining your relationships. One of the negativities in relationships that we run into all the time, that we talk about all the time,
Right.
is cheating.
Ooh, oh Lord.
Right?
I didn't know you was gonna go there.
Well, it's what's breaking up a lot of happy homes, right? Statistics show that some 60-70% of married couples have cheated. And I went and did some real research on it, and I'm looking at average numbers. It's most certainly more than half of couples in relationships, marriages particularly, are cheating. We have to assume that what's going on inside of marriages is also going on in the single world, where people are dating and going out.
Well, just let you know, dating ain't cheating. I'm gonna change that one over real quick. Like,
man,
you ain't in a not relationship, brother. It's fair game.
Yeah,
you ain't claiming it.
Yeah,
don't be shaming it.
Every time we cover this subject, I always have to make this point. Now,
what's that?
Right?
What point you want to make?
Like dating is like popcorn. It's just just dating.
I'm making it pop though.
Right?
You gotta heat it up just right.
Yeah,
to get the kernels to pop.
Listen, don't take a handful of kernels and put a little salt and pepper on it, and then put a little butter across the top.
Ain't that how you eat popcorn?
No, listen, that woman think you trying to nurture her, and she thinking y'all talking, right? Now, if you talking and you going to smash the ex, then you know what I'm saying, that negativity is ruining that relationship, that potential negativity. So I'm
trying to wonder how you doing this.
I'm like Steve Harvey on the subject, right?
Well, yeah, help me, Steve.
I'm gonna be very real about the subject.
You be real, and I'm gonna be realer.
Like a lot of relationships that get started, and the conversation hadn't been had, or it's y'all just dating. You're talking every night. You're going out, 2-3 times a week. We're hanging out. That person is not expecting you to be going to smash somebody, some chick be waiting on you in your bed when you get home that night. Well, that chick is thinking that y'all are talking. Y'all got a thing going.
No committed relationship type talk. Y'all was just going out on a date. Y'all are kicking. Y'all are having fun. You start to do more things, but you don't sit down and have that talk. That right there could be a problem, or it could just be an understanding.
Yeah.
You started with Netflix chill, so you already know how it started. You want to develop it into something else without that conversation. Don't get it confused. I like to say it's real easy. Have the conversation. But if you don't have it, and I'm out having my fun, and you out with your boys, but I'm just telling you I'm out, but you automatically assume it, and you put it in your head, that's in your head. That's not me playing the game. Because if you ask me, I'll tell you. It was you with somebody.
Why she got to ask you? Why you just can't tell?
Wait a minute. Why would I want to tell her about other things I do? I mean, really, that could be very rude.
And that's the bullshit I'm talking about right there, Jay.
I'm just being honest.
Let me just call you out.
I'm supposed to tell people who all I've been. Listen, when you wasn't here, let me tell you the charter. Now, this is the roster that came through here.
I know we're dating. I know we're hanging out. I know we're good. But you got no problem. I smashed a girl the other day. I just needed. I wasn't ready. I know you weren't ready to go there. So
Right. I mean, but my whole thing is who I smash and what I do, and I'm dating. That's really my business.
But y'all, huh?
Good deal.
But again, you got to remember now. I mean, if we're not all the way there, if I am dating, and you want to know, you ask me, I feel like, yes, I can have that conversation with you. But for me just to sit down and tell you, oh, when I went out last week, I went out with so-and-so, and I did that, I feel like that can be disrespectful to the person I'm with. I don't need to let her know all that. My whole thing is I'm still getting to know her. Right. Just like I got to know the other person. So when I go out with you,
I'm not... that sound, Jay? You know how that sound right now? It sounds crazy, man. Hey, listen, I'm really trying to get to know you, but I'm just finished smashing a couple of chicks.
That was just a smash.
That sound. You really selling that dream, man.
Ain't no selling. I live it. I live it. Yeah, ain't no selling.
You do live it.
I live it.
You play that game.
It's not, to me, it's not even a game. It's about
because you get it so well. You understand it so well.
I mean, my whole thing is, the reason why my tires ain't knocked out or flattened and my windows ain't knocked and people knocking at my door is strange, try to act a certain way because I don't play the game. I tell them straight up what it is. When I meet you, I tell you I'm not looking for a monogamous relationship. I got so much going on. If you're not understanding that and you want more from that, it's totally up to you. But my whole thing is I don't have to disrespect you. I don't have to talk about you and I don't have to call out no names. My whole thing is I'm living my best life. And if you ain't willing to deal with what I got going on, totally understandable. We can have a great meal, have a great time. We can go about our way. But don't just sit here and think you're going to change me and I'm going to change you and I don't even know you.
Oh, I see.
But hang on, I meet people all the time talking about I want a serious relationship. You seriously need to know me before you get to say something serious to me. How in the world you want something serious with me and you have no idea about me? Get to know me. Take the time. Now, what if I'm smashing what I'm doing is because I wasn't always with you. And this other person I was with, I'm not committed to, but we do adult things. I'm an adult. I can do this. And I protect myself and I watch out for her and I respect her just like I respect the one I'm talking to. That's where it gets lost. I don't have to defame anyone. Talk about them like a dog. Why? This is a woman that I love. I love women. Okay?
But Jay,
I love them.
Jay,
I love loving them.
you know, I don't think you say anything off the mark here, right?
I try not to.
I don't think you said anything really out of whack too much, right?
I try
But
not to.
I don't have the time, so help me tonight, fellas, right? I left my phone out. So the point is that if the shoe was on the other foot,
Okay, what foot?
and all we're talking about is you have met a really beautiful person, and you don't know her, but you like her,
Yeah.
and she like you,
And she looked
and
at
it seems as though
Uh-huh.
y'all are spending quality,
Oh, yeah.
real quality. This is quality time. Like, hey, I'm feeling you.
Okay.
That's
I like
what I'm saying. Catching up with you, know what I'm saying? Yeah, I go get put air on your tire,
Right. Okay.
and you know, I might introduce you. I might take you to the family reunion. You know,
Okay,
whatever, right?
All right.
But the whole time you start to really catch feelings. Every other night she's smashing the eggs,
Okay.
and it's one of those situations where it's like, damn, baby, I thought we was coming in to, you know, the conversation was gonna happen, but I thought we was coming in the union. You still out smashing. Okay, listen, go smash. Go do your thing, right? That's cool, right?
Right. I'm smashing. She smashing. We smashing. We smashing. Everybody smashing. My whole thing is
No, the point was that you stopped smashing because you thought y'all was doing something.
Oh, okay.
I said, put the shoe on the other foot.
Oh, was
you
that-
can't even entertain the
No, I said
idea.
okay. I don't know. I ain't. No, I would tell you.
Work with me.
No, I would work with you. I'll tell you all day long. Now, again, I'm getting to a point where I ain't carrying the smash. I'm to a point where I hear exactly what you say. And I tell anybody, before you rush and get into a monogamous relationship, if you want to smash and you just want to date multiple people, do that single. Quit listening to people telling you to be with one person and you know they ain't what you want. Because you're driving somebody somewhere and I promise you they're not going to be happy, fulfilled, and they're going to go back and cheat. Because they have to do them so they can understand themselves. So to me, when I'm out here, it's not for me to hurt anyone. It is for me to be understanding of me, because when I went into this and I didn't know monogamous relationship and I just started dating, I had time to spend with myself. I have to spend some time alone to realize how I have to grow. It's not always about them, crap. Sometimes it's about me, and I don't have it all together. And at least I'm real about it and understanding that I don't need to be in their life to mess their lives completely up when I gave them the upfront. I am damaged. I'm going through some things, and I don't need somebody up underneath me thinking they can fix me, and I have to work on myself first. Because now I'm wasting their time. So if they go back and smash somebody else or they do something else, it's not for me to judge because I ain't put a ring on it. I didn't lock that down. And just like they can't lock me down until I get right. Where I get with myself and realize this is what I need to do. And guess what? I might get right, and that person might not want to stand with me because of the stuff I did and put them through. That's their choice. But at that point, I got it in my head what I want to do. She might not be right for me, but hopefully the next one will be. But you have to make that change. And it starts from you, not from just getting into a monogamous relationship because your friends got one and that's what everybody should have. You ain't going to be fulfilled with that if you ain't understanding you got to do you. And you going to do it married, and then you going to do it on the side because this is what you really want to do, because you didn't do it when you had the opportunity because you were too busy trying to do what everybody else told you to do. Learn to understand you first, then follow somebody else. I followed somebody else too many different times, and I wasn't happy. My happiness came when I realized I was damaging myself more than I was damaging them. So now that I'm getting myself right, it's some people that get disappointed because they want me to be in a monogamous relationship right now. I get it. But I ain't never lied to them. That's why my tie's still inflated, my windows ain't knocked out, because I don't sit here and play a game that most people feel like they gotta play because they want to be a player. You can play being honest. And I don't have to play with lies. That's the difference. I don't have to deceive. I just be straight up, but I don't have to be disrespectful and tell you who all I was with and what all I done. I feel like they don't have to tell me all that. But when we have that conversation and it gets to a point where we gonna lock down and not be with anybody else, it's gonna be a full-fledged understanding and it's gonna be a commitment. Because I don't get in a monogamous relationship if I'm not looking for a fiance or a wife. I know the path I want. But before I go down that path, I got to make sure I got my stuff in order, my businesses. And that's right, more than one. My life and things that I'm doing, I have to put order behind it because I'm not looking for it to come back and haunt me. Somebody can come back and say, oh, he been with him, her, him, and what? I know him. But her. But bottom line is I let all that go. And now it's less of a conversation. It's less of a threat. And she shouldn't be worried about me going back because a lot of stuff I already did. And that's where you need to be. You got to be in a position where you can honestly look at a person and make that journey with that person without the fear of relapse. Relapse is just a fear of her hurting you, so I'd rather go back to what I'm comfortable with. I was never comfortable being with a bunch of people. I have to spread myself and I have to understand them, and I'm telling you, it is a lot of work. That's not what I'm comfortable. So for having a relapse and going back to what I've been doing, I don't think that's what it is because I really don't care for it. I don't. I just love people. But the bottom line, everybody don't love me and everybody don't deserve me. And that's the real.
All right. I love it. I love it. And what we have on time? It's about that time? 4 minutes? 4 minutes? Okay. So, yeah, cheating and, even... I guess, it ain't really cheating until you had the conversation, but cheating does cause a lot of negativity in relationships, right? I've got a few other areas that I'd like to cover. Kind of how exes will get in the way. Maybe how baby mamas will get in the way.
Now,
maybe how in-laws can get in the way. What you got to say?
Now, since I got a couple baby mamas, they hate hearing that. They hate. I could never say that to them because these are people I was with and I had kids with. They hate that baby mama thing. But one of the things I can say is we always had a great friendship. Only one of my baby mamas I really got close with. But again, going back and dealing with somebody, that's more of a comfort zone. You got comfortable. That's why you do that. But my whole thing is a respect thing. So we can be around each other and we can have conversations and talk. I've had my ex-wife, baby mama, people that I've talked to all around each other, and we had a good time because it's not about what most people try to make it be about. It's not territorial and it's not about showing shame or showing a person off or putting a person down. I was with you, I'm not with you no more, but we still had a respect level. You have my child, and because you have my child, I'm going to show you a respect. So when you're around different people, it's about showing people the respect without going overboard. So if I'm dating somebody, they're normally comfortable around some of my exes is because my exes showed them enough respect because of me. I've never shown them the disrespect, and I would. And if I got to be around them and their person they're with, I'm going to show them the respect of her. I respected her when I was with her. I'm going to respect him. Give him the dap. Give him the respect. I ain't kissing nothing. My whole thing is I don't have to fight anything. I don't have to bring drama. I don't have to bring chaos. Why would I bring that when I was never trying to enter that in our lives? That was not the whole point of our relationship. When we broke up, it was not to give this woman hell because she ain't with me. No, it is I chose her. That's a woman I chose, and now I'm supposed to turn my back on because it didn't work out. I feel like that's you being foolish to realize that is a person you chose first. That's the person that you thought you'd be with forever. But now all of a sudden, it didn't work out. So now I am to disrespect her and everybody she with. And I don't feel like that way. My whole thing, it didn't work. So I don't got to show my ignorance. I ain't got to put you down. It's like, hey, it didn't work. But guess what? Me and the kids, we can do this. We might not be able to go to movies together because they look like it's more intimate. We might not, but us and the kids can. You know what I'm saying? If you throwing a party, I probably will stop by, say hello, and keep it moving. My whole thing is, watch how you interact. Because most people interact because they're comfortable. It's easier. She already know me. We already went there. But you've been there and it didn't work out. And you think it's going to work out now because of time? If you didn't really put any change into your life, it's going to go back to what it was because she ain't going to never forget what you did to her. Or you did either way. I don't want to blame. I only think I can tell you people don't forget. And that's why I don't run back just to my exes, but I have conversations with them because mistakes is made. But you can't always think the mistakes going to get you by. It's going to work out great because, hey, I apologize. She was dealing with the damn apologies when I was with her.
Yeah. When we come back, we want to talk about your new wife doesn't like your baby mama.
Hell, I don't like him. I don't like myself.
We're talking about negativity ruining your relationship.
I ain't tell you I was always positive.
It is time for us to take our next break. You folks stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay.
Yes.
Now, before we get back into the show, we want to tell y'all again what September 17th is 4-year anniversary.
Yes, sir.
We're going to try to do something on that date, and it happened to be on a Thursday. That's right, a Thursday. We're going to pop off right here in the studio. I would ask all y'all to come COVID-19. So, understand we got the party for y'all. But we're going to have it here in the studio, pop some champagne, drink some drinks, have some special guests come in, small amount, gotta keep the distance, gotta make sure everybody stays safe. That's the only reason why I don't take this out. I would love to do it at a club like we did it last year. Bring y'all out VIP style, show y'all big things, but can't. I got to make sure I show you why I care.
Right.
Caring is everything. So, one of the things I'm going to do tonight is start y'all right with a pop-off with a shot. Okay, this is some vodka monkey head.
Monkey head.
Now, Buddha, if you're at home right now, I don't know when you started your own liquor brand. Alright? But I'm just going to tell you right now, man, we're going to find how good this monkey. And the shot glasses, look, they're like a monkey too. So, we're going to down this one for you, for again, September 17th, anniversary, this shot's for you.
Shots for you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Monkey! That get the monkey on your back right there.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, for all y'all, this is at the stores now. Monkey head.
Yeah.
You might want to mix it with something.
Might want to mix it with something.
I ain't got no hair on my chest, but it might have popped the hair up there. Woo-wee!
Sweet looking bottle.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't look at this shot glass too much. Monkey ain't cute. You know. All right.
Most monkeys, they ain't maybe the baby ones.
Wow. Okay, let's get back to this bad boy. I mean, we having a heck of a discussion going on, and this shot just warmed me up to some of the questions you got. So what we going with this time?
All right, so tonight, folks, we're talking about is negativity ruining your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And, we said right at the start of the show, it seems like negativity is what ruins relationships. And so we wanted to try and identify what is it. What are those things that's getting in the way of relationships? What are those things that's hindering people from coming together? What is it, Jay? What's on your mind, man?
You know something? And let me get off of them and get on to me. You know, from a person that tries to be positive, but I wake up sometimes negative. And I happen to see one of your skits when you said, when you lay down and you have these negative thoughts go in your head, you need to stop immediately and start getting them thoughts out your head. Well, it takes somebody like you to start reminding me of my own bad behavior than judging somebody else for their behavior. Because again, they know no more than what they're exposed to.
Yeah.
So now that I'm around more intelligent people that can help me, you have to be open to receive the help. So when somebody tells you something, you shouldn't be so quick to judge it or defame it when you can easily understand it. So how about I take what you say and try to process,
Right.
what process worked for me. So how you tell it to me, I have to work it into my process of how I comprehend it. And now all of a sudden I notice, okay, I see exactly what he's talking about. But I'm not quick to run out and tell somebody else, you know something? You just so negative because Kraft told me. That's how they do the pastor. Kraft told me you just negative, and you know something. You need to listen to what he talking about because you suck. That's kind of how people take things. And my whole thing is fix you before you try to fix somebody else.
Yeah.
Because get the research to understand what Kraft is really saying, so you can translate it in a way that somebody will be accepting of wanting to find out more on Kraft at.
Yeah.
Than saying, Kraft said, you suck. Okay, Kraft don't know me. I know you, and you suck. Well, why don't you just say it? You just suck because I don't like you. But they'll use you. So at that point, I'm negative. I went right back to my old behavior.
Right.
Instead of looking at the fact that you tried to give me a different way of looking at something and a positive way of looking at something, I still did my negative spin because I am conditioned
And listen,
to do that.
that is a major reason why relationships don't work. That is
Yeah.
a major reason why relationships don't work. Is one person is attempting to open the doorway for another person.
Mhm.
Maybe they've seen more, they've been there, done that, they learned it, whatever.
Right.
And this person will not accept this new information.
Mhm.
They will not entertain the new idea. They're I don't know, they just don't want to open up to a different way of understanding things. And so I call that pride,
Ooh,
right?
okay.
Right? Is negativity ruining your relationships? It could potentially be pride. And that, and because ultimately, if a relationship is to work,
Mhm.
both parties have to be vulnerable.
Right.
Right? And so if I'm sharing something with you, the vulnerability is comforted by the fact that you know I got your best interest in mind. And if I got your best interest in mind and I'm telling you this, and it's not something I really want to tell you, but I'm telling it to you because I believe this is a direction that just might help you. Just might open the doorways for some opportunities for you. It might help our relationship if you'll just listen sometimes, and stop always thinking that maybe you have the answer, or you're the only one who's hurting, or you're the only one who's got a problem. Stop being the victim, so to speak.
Right.
That's a major issue in relationships, right? Especially, if two people. I'm starting to think that most two people that come together are already unequally yoked. They might have enough spirituality or religion, or they might have enough financial wherewithal that it could become a stronghold.
Mhm.
But, you said it so beautifully that two people coming together takes God.
Mhm.
It requires God because it just ain't natural for two
No, it's
people to
not.
just be able to just be together. It takes a supernatural act for people to come together. And so,
Definitely agree.
yeah, and so it is, it's necessary for us to listen to our loved ones. And, sometimes they're taking you on new technology, and sometimes they're just trying to get you to hear a new philosophy about a way to get life done,
I like that when you said new philosophy, new things. Believe it or not, I love gadgets. Okay? Anybody that ever dated me or been around me would know I love gadgets. I love my grills. I like cooking stuff. I like gadgets. Strobe lights, you name it, I got it.
Right.
Okay? I don't know what my fascination is, but I have it. And my truck's got all the gear on it. I ordered it. It'll be there. And my whole thing is not just to dazzle you. It's for safety. I understand when we're on the side of the road and what we do, I have to stay cautious. But also, even with cooking, I'm not even in the kitchen all the time. But I got air fryers. I got the Flatstone top grill. I got the egg. You know, these are different things that I wanted, and it's just gadgets to me because I like new technology. I like things, and I like to try new things. And I don't know why. Okay, so when I deal with somebody, they automatically think I'm just a chef and I love to cook, and that's not necessarily true. Now I do like the master grill. I don't go in the kitchen all the time and cook up, but I can. But I like the new technology because there's some things that make it easier. That the temperature stay right there at 350, so grease don't overheat. If anybody know about cooking, if you overheat grease, it burns and the grease don't last long. This keeps the temperature perfectly at 350, so the grease lasts a lot longer. So there's small things that, you know, because you're used to the stove and you can't measure, you got to put a thermostat right there to measure the grease temperature with flames it's hitting. They got that new wave top, changed the world. Well, my whole thing is, I don't know what made me be the one that want to have it, and I ain't the one always cooking. My mom didn't understand why I bought it either, because she don't know how to work it, and she may want to be cooking. But my whole thing was to push me in a direction. And that's sometimes when you find your passion. Is when you start getting into the things that you like. I like gadgets. Mm-hmm. As I'm getting into the gadgets, I'm starting to learn some things, and I'm willing to explore some things. That's how you learn you. Most people don't know what their gift is. I want people to learn their gift. And mine was buying different things, and I ain't know why. Some people call me a hoarder because I hold on to it. But then I started learning that these things are starting to drive me in a position that I'm like, oh, I see now. I didn't see before. That's why I didn't get this when I was young. I had to go through some things. It's like going through the flames. You got to learn some things. You got to be able to talk to yourself. You got to be able to talk to him. You got to be able to pray. But the bottom line, you better understand. You don't have it all. He ain't made you perfect for a reason. Everybody got a handicap. I don't care who you are. You have a handicap. Because he's going to make you come to him. When you think you got it all together, watch it fall apart. If you don't have him, I promise you, you're going to find life ain't as easy as you think. And even with him, it still is work.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is another great challenge in relationships.
Oh, right? I know
that. You know, if you got one partner who is spirit-filled, you know, know the word, lean on the word, lean on God to help them come through things and manage their life and stuff, and they're always using spiritual words. You know, they're always using hope and faith, and you know, we're gonna have the strength to overcome, and the victory is ours, and greater is He that's in me than He that is in the world. And they live this, but the other person don't have very little spirit. They don't lean on God. They lean on themselves, and they lean on what they can do. You know, I would imagine at a certain point, the spiritual person is probably going to think that the other person is always being negative. Yeah. That they're always have no hope. They always have no faith. They always have to see it in action before they can even believe it. You know, and you know, and it's really tough to be in a relationship with somebody who has faith and who has no faith, and you have lots of faith, right? I've attempted that on a few occasions, and it just doesn't work. You will begin to always believe that they are pessimists, that they see the glass half empty rather than half full, and that can drive you absolutely crazy. Especially if you are an up and coming family and you're trying to make some things happen in your house. And you know, I talked to a friend of mine a few weeks ago, and she said, you know, Stace, I'm paid, I'm footloose and fancy free. I got my craft, my career on point. I'm super fly. My house is great. My car is great. Everything is lovely. She said, but somehow or another, as free and as fast paced and as fluent as I am, I attracted a man who it takes him 5 hours to figure out what we're going to do about going to the beach. Like, you know, I was like, honey, let's go to the beach. And it takes him 3 hours to just come with, like, start getting his stuff together, you know? And is that negative? Yeah, it's not negative, but he's ready to move quickly. And she's ready to move quickly, and he's got this slow drag pace. Right. That can be a real problem, man.
Well, it can be, but before we go any further, is she married?
Yeah, they're married.
Oh, damn. I was about to ask
To
where
each
the
other?
baby is.
They're married to each other.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
married.
Her
So
husband, when she says, "Honey, let's plan a vacation," it takes him 2 weeks to, figure out this and this and that, and he wants to plan all the little details.
That's okay.
Huh?
That's okay.
That's
yeah,
okay.
It would have been even better
I'll
okay
tell
if I
you
know
why.
she was single.
It
I'll
could,
tell you later why.
it could be okay, but
It's okay.
but the problem is
It'd been better
that
for me.
you're going,
It's
you're
okay.
you're doing no, it's not in my
No.
world because you're at a different pace than I
Right.
am. I'm over here like, hey,
Right.
this should have been done a week ago.
Right.
I'm over here like,
I'm with her.
do you really need me to make color decisions? Do you really need me to
Thank
make
you.
fabrics? Can you show me what you want and let me say I love it, I don't love it, or just tell me what you're gonna do.
And we're gonna get it done.
Yeah,
But see, that's business minded people compared to lackadaisical.
and listen, in whatever way you look at it, it could be considered negative.
It
Right?
can be.
Those are a lot of the experiences that happen in relationships, that marriages, they're not real things, but they're real things. You know what I mean?
It's
Like, husbands complain all the time. Man, every time we get ready to go somewhere, we're always late. We're always late. We're late because she didn't get started getting dressed early. She didn't start getting dressed in time. Why did she start getting dressed at 12 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock? I mean, if she was, and so those are major contentions. Major contentions. And I can't think of a relationship that doesn't have those kinds of contentions. How the kitchen was supposed to be left when it was clean,
Mhm.
or all kinds of stuff. In these relationships that really get on your last nerves, and they cause these little bitty arguments where you might not like them for a day or two, or you think they don't care, or you think they don't want to, help you, or you think they're not supportive, or they're just disrespectful. And listen, those times, those are not just breakdowns in communications.
Right.
Oftentimes they're misguided expectations.
I agree.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you
But
right
they're
now.
real. They can get on your last damn nerves. You know what I mean?
Me,
Why do I have to keep picking your socks up out the floor? Why can't you just say do that?
me and my ex-wife.
Yeah.
She gonna kill me for this one, but I don't care. She never wanted to be on time for nothing. She
That's a
always took
problem.
forever to do it. So it got to a point where, all right, I got this thing we got to do. You ready? Hang on, I got to do this. And it always played like this. Well, we got to a point where we got our own car, crib, we doing good. And I got to a point where I'm not taking this no more.
Okay.
Because she always do this. So she went up there and she did her thing. And I told her, I said, listen, we leaving at this time. I ain't got time. So do what you got to do early on. I gave you warning because I know you always late. You always come up with an excuse. Because I've been with you. I know you. So listen, we're going to be on time. I hear you. Whatever. She went in the bathroom to do what she did. I know what time I was leaving. I told her, listen, you got 5 minutes. You know I can't get it on. You better figure it out. You got 5. So 5 minutes went past. She came downstairs. Car was gone. She called me. Where you in? You better use your car. You can follow me where I'm at. Because I'm not waiting no more. Now, I can't tell you that right there would keep a relationship. But to today,
That's good, Jack.
to today,
Yeah.
I can get with my ex-wife and we sit there and we talk. I'll be like, yo, I'm about ready to go. We're going to do something. She said, yeah, I know how your ass will leave me. Because again, you don't have to keep leaving a person. Because I didn't leave her to leave her not to be with her.
Yeah.
I left her because if she don't understand that I'm not playing, she going to keep playing me.
Well, yeah, the friction is that you have an expectation of being on time.
Right.
And maybe that expectation has to do with the people who you're meeting with or whatever. But you said, hey, if we're going to do something at 12 o'clock,
We're going to do it at 12
we're going to
o'clock.
do it at 12 o'clock. And she, over and over and over and over again, completely disrespected that.
Yeah. She's like, you know something?
That's the negative.
They love you. They going to do it. They going to do it at our time.
That's the
I
negativity.
respect people, and it's gonna be at our time, not your time. And guess what? Now it's your own time.
Yeah, that's the negativity that ruins relationships, and that's a great point to make. We're gonna take another break. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
All right.
All right.
Welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back.
Before we get going real quick, we're going to give another shout out to 4-year anniversary coming up September 17th.
Yes.
So what we going to do right now, I got my girl Crazy Adrian in the building. She's the one that always been bringing me gifts, special guests. She's been doing great things. She's been behind the scenes. She said she really don't want to be seen, but her presence is known by her guests that she brings. So again, 4 years, I gotta celebrate. I gotta take a toast for her. She's been doing great things. Continue watching us because she's doing something for me. Y'all don't know, but I appreciate. So again, a shout out to you and the things you do for my show.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adrian.
Yeah. Girl brought me this monkey head.
Monkey head.
Little monkey. That's my girl.
Just the name of it make you
Woo! Boy, she changed your life. I don't know if anybody know her, but I promise you, if you do, she is that stand-up person. And as you can see, she don't even stick around to the water and everything. You know what I'm saying? She don't keep nothing. But we're going to get back to what we've been doing. We've been having great guests come on. She's been more behind the scene, but now I got to get back to my partner that's been holding me down since we've been starting this. And again, we doing a deep topic tonight. And again, negativity. I don't push it. But one of the things I can tell you, and I mentioned it earlier, even I have it in me. We all ain't positive all the time. But it is a practice to try to get it in front of you. Then also be talked about because all the negativity that you keep showing.
Right.
Now, my whole thing is, let's just work on being better.
Right.
Better people.
Right.
Sometimes you come negative because everything you've been presented and your whole environment been that way.
Right.
Expose yourself to different things.
Yes.
We all ain't able to do that. When you grow up in it, it wasn't a choice of yours. But now when you're moving through life, you can choose better situations, better friends.
Right.
And that's going to be a decision of yours. Because a lot of times you get so tight to a person, you don't even really want to see their negative because you love them.
Yeah.
And you know they can be a better person, but they're never showing nobody else that better person. And sometimes you have to move away from them to better you.
Yeah.
And that's why I told you before I get into a monogamous relationship, I have to better myself to enter something for the right reason, not just to enter it because somebody else told me.
Yeah. And I want to talk about, again, folks, tonight's topic is negativity ruining your relationships? And I think we covered something that was really, really powerful in that last segment, right? That we all, in our own individual way, have barriers.
Okay.
We all have things that, like for yours, for example, was the time. Like, hey, let's be on time. Every time we're not on time, I look bad in front of all of my constituents.
Right.
In front of all of our people. Like, you can't see it because you're not in the world. Maybe you're doing this, that, and the other. But when we go to that world, it's important for us to be on time and be early, sweetheart.
Right.
And she continued to not understand that, and that continued to be a thorn in your side.
Correct.
Which is the negative part. See, it's not. There's so many things that we can disagree on, and so many things where people can cross our barriers.
Right.
That's what makes the relationship so challenging. Right, and let me just name a few of them, just so that we understand the depth and breadth of what I'm talking about.
Name them correct.
That someone, not respecting your timeline is major, right?
Right.
The in-laws are coming to dinner at 5. I need you to be home by 3 o'clock. Let's, what? You gonna come here at 4:30 and think everything's supposed to be done, and you're not helpful. Da 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 da. Right? That's a thorn. That's saying that you really don't respect. Things that I asked you to do, to help you to do, these are the things that ruin relationships. Because you're harboring these, this malice in your heart about what they didn't do, or what they did do, or what they were supposed to do. And even though we talked last week, you can't change people, you're still in a relationship with this person. And you still got to keep driving forward. And so now, how can I get through to you that I need you to respect this timeline? You know what I'm saying? Let's not walk out the door at 5 minutes to 1, knowing we have to be there at 1, and it's a 30-minute trip. Help me out, baby. What are some of those other, contentions that can happen in a household, in a relationship, that can ruin it? Money is a huge issue among couples. There have been more couples broke up about money than anything else. how you spend money, how you save money, what you use money on, how much money you make, whether you're gonna go get more money, whether you know, like money can be a major and to be honest with you, unless you're just rich, then your spouse is probably looking at you in a different way than you looking at your own self or your own money life, right? Like you're doing X, Y, and Z, and your spouse very well may be wanting to do, A, B, and C.
Right.
Or they may think you should do something different with it. And because you didn't listen to them and we lost money last year, because you're not communicating with them, then they act like they don't care anymore. Right? They don't help you balance the budget. They just go and spend money, right? And they leave it up to you, right? Because you act like you don't care about what they want. And here's this minor contention, all right? We're calling it minor, but it really is major underneath the surface, right? Because now we're talking about couples, and there are a lot of couples who live separate money lives.
Right.
And they live separate money lives. Some of them get to the point where they live separate money lives. Hey, I make mine, keep it over here. You make yours, keep it over there. We put it in the account to pay the bills. This is extra, and we do it kind of separately. We don't just put all of our resources in the pot and we all as a family utilize it. And that happens because there are those innuendo contentions that have the potential to ruin the relationship, right? What about not spending enough time together?
Oh, man, you got it.
Right?
That was a good punch.
I can just imagine,
That was a good punch.
I can especially imagine a woman saying to herself, he never takes me anywhere. He never buys anything for me. He doesn't do anything for me. He doesn't take me out to dinner. He doesn't do gifts for me. He doesn't do anything. All he wants to do is just have sex. Right? And even though she might give you sex, because potentially she enjoys it, she need that break, for whatever to happen to be the reason, she's really thinking like, man, you really ain't on my team. I'm trying to be in love with you, and you trying to be out in the street. You ain't trying to be loving to your wife. You ain't trying to give me gifts. And so here is this minor contention again that has the potential to ruin a relationship. Right? What about being a bad communicator? Right? You said something to him. In the heat of an argument, you said something, and you didn't have enough guts to come back and apologize for that nonsense you said. What you try to do is play it off. You try to act like you didn't say it, or you try to act like you say something else. And so now, here it is a year later, I'm remembering what you said, because you said it out your own mouth. Now, here is another undercurrent where you have miscommunicated or had bad communication. It's caused a rift in the relationship, and you each potentially may be holding on to it.
Right.
It is one of those things that ruin relationships. Ultimately it is negative, and one of the challenges.
Before you go further,
Go ahead.
Before you go further, because you named a couple, I want to go back, but I'm going to hit this one first. I'm the kind of person that when you say something to me, I actually listen to you. I learned through past relationships that I didn't. I already had a thought of what I want to say, so I stopped listening to you before I can give you my thought.
Okay.
I learned to stop doing that and start listening to you, and then give you a more of a rebuttal. Before I gave you more of me.
A little attitude.
Right. Because I got an attitude, because when
Responding,
you said
not
something, I didn't
reacting,
realize,
not
right, it's all about reaction,
Yeah.
and it wasn't about understanding. I didn't understand where you was coming from. I just know I'm reacting off of what you just said, and I took offense to what you said. So now I'm going to give you a negative ass response, because I don't like what you just said. Okay? At that point, I didn't finish listening to you to understand that you didn't mean it to be that way. I lost that in the fact that I felt a certain way when I heard what I heard. So when I heard it and I digested it, I didn't like it. So at that point, I stopped listening. And then I start automatically coming up with a response. And that response is normally negative. Okay? So I had to learn myself to stop doing that. Take it all in. And realize you're not perfect either. So as you're taking it in and you feel a certain way, understand the whole content, not just your feeling content.
Right.
She said one thing that pissed you off, but she said several things that was dead point on. But the one thing is the only thing you really want to fire off on. But she had great contents on the rest. Now, the one thing you want to fire off on, because it hits your feelings.
Right, your pride was hurt.
And now at that point,
Ego
you
was hurt.
have not a debate, you have an argument. Because you're going to come off angry. You're going to come off aggressive.
Yeah.
My whole
And
thing
you're
was,
probably going to say something that's going to put a gremlin in the relationship
Automatic.
that is going to
Automatic.
become the negativity that could ruin your relationship.
but to you, she did it when she said it to you.
Right.
So to you, she gave you a gremlin, and you're going to respond to that gremlin. I'm just giving it back to you, but I'm not giving back positive. I'm giving you back an evilness that I portrayed when you said it. But again, she gave you other things, and you forgot about them. It hit your nerve.
Yeah.
It hit your soul.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell people all the time, finish listening to it and debate it where you can go back over all the things that she said. That way it was never misunderstood,
Yeah.
but it's understood that I didn't like this part.
But here's the
But
thing.
I also heard your other part. And she's like, oh yeah, you heard it.
It
But
is-
I know that part hit. Because see, then you start seeing her intention. Now,
But-
it's easy for me to debate you in that other way.
But
because
you got to
I
keep
know
in
how I
mind.
gotta play.
You got to keep in mind, Jay, that in a relationship, that's not going to be the first time you have discussed that subject. You have discussed that subject
yes.
on numerous occasions,
Go ahead.
right? And so now, by the time you get to sentence number 3 on the subject, I might be like, I already know how you feel about it.
Uh-huh.
I heard you last time you said it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't agree with it then, and I don't agree with it now. And it's not necessarily that you're jumping the gun.
Right.
You could very well be jumping the gun, but to have to hear, that same opinion with no improvement, or
Right.
is what the issue is.
You know. I hear you.
So what I wanted to cover while Jay is taking care of one of the mosquitoes that we had in here, the bug, is that you have this relationship, and let's go back to the example where the wife is not real happy with how the husband treats her. Right? All he pretty much do is just, they eat together and then he have sex. He don't really take her nowhere, don't do anything for her, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That, the point here is that all these relationships are failing because there's negativity in the midst of it. But somehow we never can seem to identify what is the negativity that's ruining these relationships. Like, we know that relationships are being ruined, but we just can't put our fingers on it.
Right.
Well, here's where we're going to try to put our fingers on it. She's unhappy with him, but they're still married. They
Right.
still do kids, grandkids, holidays, etc. But the negativity is that she feels that she's not being loved on.
Mm.
It's as simple as that. She feels like he really is not loving on me. She doesn't have the nurture of that man because he's not nurturing to her in any form or fashion.
Okay.
And so the negativity becomes her longing for love and not getting it.
Okay.
That's major, man.
It is.
That's the crux of every one of these situations that we're talking about, is that we were late for church for the last 3 weeks, and the pastor said something to me, and now I got to come home and mention it to you, and all of a sudden, what I'm really thinking is that, you just really don't want to give me any credit. You really don't want to help me at all. You really are just kind of selfish. And so they haven't necessarily, which they did, they haven't necessarily done anything wrong or negative, but the situation is allowing you to have to look at them negatively. They are the problem. But if you begin to bring it up and you want to talk about it and you want to open the door conversation up, now you're the bad person and you the negative one. That's how we get trapped in these relationships that don't work. There's all these little spiraling things that we never quite finish addressing, or that we never quite speak up on, or that we never quite get understood about. And these little things just one day, all of a sudden, take their toll on your spirit. They take their toll on your ability to even want to be with this person. And that's what will really start to happen. I think that's a trigger. When you get to the trigger where you're like, you know what, you ever had that feeling?
I'm right here.
You know what,
bro.
Right? I mean, that could be Sunday morning just before you go to church. You know you're already late. You driving to church knowing that you late, and she over there still making excuses why she late and what she could have did and didn't do,
Well,
and
what you
she
could've
over there
did.
popping off and still not caring about the fact that you are in the race to get there and make a good show, but you're late, and it makes everybody look bad. She's still not getting that. That's burning. That's flame. That drive on the way to church, you are super upset. And it doesn't finish when you just leave church. It stays on
I don't know.
for months and years.
Yeah.
That kills relationships.
I agree with you.
Let's take a break. I want you to come back.
Okay.
Is that time? Okay. Man, I love this
Oh, don't
conversation.
worry.
This is
I'm
good.
never bad with that
This
one.
is good. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back. More Bar Talk with Jay. I heard something on
You
the
don't
break.
even want to hear that,
I
dog?
want to hear it, Jay. I want
No,
to hear
you
it.
don't. No,
I need-
craft. Certain things.
Adrian, can you come in and
No,
enlighten us what you said?
No.
Oh, you gonna call me by my whole name?
No.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah,
Crap,
I
listen.
don't know no
Let me see what
nicknames.
Let me see.
Oh,
Before I
okay.
leave,
Okay, she
I'm
gonna
gonna
tell
share your mic. I'm gonna share Craft's mic.
You gonna share Craft?
Yeah, I'll share Craft.
I'll give her all.
Okay. So Craft and I have already had a conversation before, right? And so one thing that you men have to understand is the dynamic in relationships is changing.
Okay.
And so we'll just take one state and one city at a time,
Okay.
and we'll talk about the ratio.
Okay.
Now, once upon a time last year, it was that the ratio to a man was that it was one man and 20 women.
Okay.
So out of them 20, he's going to pick the one that he wants to really maintain and care about.
Okay.
Right? The other 19 is just flailing and win. Whoever hangs on and stays within the balance, then they can reap the benefits of whatever it is he wants to disperse.
Okay.
Right? All right. Now let's take Niecy Nash as an example right now today. Okay? So 10 years ago, I did an event in California at the Roosevelt Hotel. And
Okay.
her comedian fiance at that time came, and I was the first person to know that they had gotten engaged.
All right.
Nobody else knew. They got married. She recently has gotten divorced from him a little over a year ago, but a few days ago announced that she has remarried to a female. The female that sung at her and the male's wedding. So, to me, the dynamic is, when her and the guy got married, what kind of relationship did she and the female who sung at her wedding, that she's now married to, maintain enough for her to know that this man is too indecisive, I don't want to be with him, and I'm willing to be an abomination to be with you? Because we was taught same sex to be together as an abomination. But at this point, females are kind of following the trend that gay men have followed. Forget what the Bible says.
No.
They're
No.
living life. They just want to be happy. Niecy Nash point
Right.
in life is about being happy. And she's
Right.
happy with this female that she's with that plays the guitar, that allows her to be vocal. She can sing whatever she wants to sing. She can be free. And it's just better. So this is what I say about Atlanta and the men. If the ratio was 20 women to one man, and that man chose the one and thought he was going to play with the other 19, guess what? The other 19 is getting ready to go play in another field. So that one you chose, make sure she's the one you want to be with, because you're not getting ready to have no options no more after 2020. It's done with. You got competition. Because women have been competing for men's attention for so long. At this point, we're tired of it. So if we get better results from being in a relationship from somebody that's of the same sex,
Right.
we gonna go with whatever feels best to us. The rest of it, at the end of the day, it's all a lie anyway. And it ain't gonna take but a few more seconds for somebody to tell us the Bible ain't really real. And what is people's lives really getting ready to be about when you tell them that the religion they have been following is false? That's almost like telling them you ain't got no speed limit on the road. Go as fast as you want. How many people gonna die every day from speed? And that's just life in a relationship. So, in a minute, the power that men have in relationships, it won't exist no more. And that's all I'm gonna say. Hats off to Niecy Nash. I love her.
Now, I'm gonna have some fun with you real quick.
You ain't lying no phone me.
No, ain't
You
no
have
even.
phone crap. I just wanted to drop those little
You-
jewels and let y'all know that
you
you men
dropped the
keep
nugget.
having fun, because in a minute y'all gonna have y'all to play with in the sandbox. We gonna keep it moving.
Now, do you really want to leave on that note? You really want to leave on that note? Do you believe me?
Listen,
and Maddie?
on that note, now,
Okay, we're going to
listen. You know, I like to cover things at 40,000 feet, right?
I want you to go.
What I just heard was if men don't condition themselves properly
Right.
to the needs and desires of women,
Right.
we're going to be cast out.
Correct. That's what I heard.
That's what I heard too, right?
I mean, we both heard that.
You know, men, if you don't, women are saying to you fellas, if y'all don't stand in the gap, then I'm going to really start entertaining some other options because I'm so tired of this. And that's what's really happening.
Absolutely.
In both sides, both men and the
Absolutely.
women's side.
So you want to go
And,
first? Or you want me to go? You let me know.
I ain't got a whole lot of love.
All right, I'm going for it, dude.
Go ahead.
Listen.
Okay. And we got to get
Because
back
I
to our
want-
topic.
I'm not.
Let's take a couple of minutes.
I'm going to tear this
Couple
topic.
minutes. We got 8 minutes.
My whole thing is, what she said is a personal point of view. It is not to take all women. It is to take point of view of what some people might be feeling. I like to say it should encourage people to be more stronger in what they want to commit and do. But the bottom line, if you're not willing to commit and you're not willing to do that, then there is other options. I can't tell you what you're going to choose. It's not for me to say. But one thing I can say is be more true to you. Do not enter things, and that's not what the hell you want to do. And that's what make people feel like I want to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
My thing, no.
Yeah.
Understand you. Make decisions based off of your belief, what your thinking is. And I guess what? At that point, if she chooses to do something other than you, then that is her prerogative.
Yeah, but let me put this all in perspective. I think her story was dynamic, right?
It was.
And so here's the issue. You got a man and a woman who are married, and the woman's bridesmaid or one of her bridesmaid end up becoming her lover, right? And so once these two divorce, now she's with this other girl. But the other girl was there from the beginning.
Correct.
And so you wonder what the negativity is that ruined the relationship. You cannot have, if you are going to be vested with somebody, you can't have a third party stealing energy. Right? Because you would talk about that issue with your significant other if you didn't have such a strong outlet to talk about with your side dude, a side chick, a side piece.
Correct.
Right? So the negativity was already in the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it happens a lot.
It did.
Right? I just want to bring us back home. It happens a lot. I don't think there's ever going to be a time that men or women are really cast out from each other. I only want a woman, and I only want a woman who wants a man. Right? And, well, maybe, you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So that ain't never going to change for me. Now, maybe the world is going to be going awry on their own little, misguided fortunes, but, there's a certain thing that's right and a certain thing that's wrong, and I'm not judging anybody in their particular situation, but for me, that, ain't nothing going to make me ever like a man. Right? There's nothing ever going to make me turn to a man. I'm always going to turn to a man, right?
Jay said he appreciates it.
Yeah, listen. and listen, let me tell you what. Our game would be super tight if there was 20 men and one woman. If there was 20 men to one woman, that we would have like a rock solid rap game, and we would go out and defeat the other 19 cats and always have the baddest lady on our. Ain't nothing gonna stop me from fighting for a woman. That's the point that I'm making here.
Right.
And I can identify with what H was saying to us, but I don't know. We have to figure out how to fix men in society, because men are doing some
Can I have some fun
unfortunate
with this?
things. Yeah, we got a couple minutes.
We got a couple minutes?
Close out.
We'll have some fun with this real quick. And again, this is what I'm telling you. Watch your deceptive ways and understand a positive way. You can have a relationship with multiple people with the understanding of, I'm not trying to be monogamous. I am dating. As in the dating form, I understand they have options. You got to put the best forward, period. Y'all keep saying y'all want to save it for the perfect one. My whole thing is, if you're a good dude, be a good dude. Quit trying to be perfect for the one that you say you're going to be perfect for. It. Bottom line, be a good dude, period. Because they do have options. And if we showing negative ways and evilness, that's why they choosing this. As a man, you are dominant. You are a force to be reckoned with. And you using it reckless. And now you wonder why they go this way. Look at what you do. You tell them, I want a monogamous relationship, but you want to be single. We have control in some of this. If you choose to want to date multiple people, respectfully, understand, do not get in a monogamous relationship, regardless how they force you. It's not them that makes you, it's you. And I'm telling you, I get my behind handed to me because I say, I don't want a monogamous relationship. Yes, you do. I will show you respect, and I will show you kindness, and I will show you that I love women. That does not mean you're going to change me. That means when I change, I will make that decision, and then I choose that one person. Until then, let me do me. It's called soul. Getting to know somebody is fine. When you start getting into a monogamous relationship, you done made a decision. My whole thing is watch where it is. And that's why we got decisions being flared out. Because people made that decision. I'm going to be with you. Only you. But then you hang around with somebody like me and be like, I did this. I ain't did this to no one. When I got out of my marriage, I made a vow when I went through a couple of relationships, monogamous, that did not work. I say, let me take time to myself to date other people before I can understand me. In all them people that I date, some people say it contaminates you to a point where you won't make a decision. You are alive. Because what's for me is a person that understands me. Because I had to understand me. And then you're going to make a decision to be with me. And I don't have a problem not being with no one else. And when you figure that out, you will understand life. But until then, all y'all want to play. But we're not trying to play. We're trying to live. And you living with somebody that want to disrespect you and hurt you, you playing a stupid game. I want you to play a positive game. We are manipulative. We are being to a point where we are manipulative. We're being controlling. We're being more than we need to be. And then you wonder why somebody want to choose somebody other than you. Because you ain't right. Yeah. My whole thing is quit playing with you and understand what you're playing with. Quit playing.
So tonight's topic overall is negativity ruining your relationships.
I'm trying to be positive.
And there are a lot of things that are underneath the surface that can ruin your relationships.
Hell, it can
I think the important thing to note in all of this, and I'm going to do a quick recap here, is that if there is negativity brewing in your relationships, address it, attack it, deal with it. Don't wait till a year later to have that conversation. If you're gonna have it, there's nothing wrong with waiting a year later. You know, if you don't ever plan on having a conversation, then just never say anything about it. But there are a lot of things that are brewing underneath, and some of the key things that we talked about is people being negative.
Right.
Just having a negative person in your life really puts a lot of stress on a relationship. One person just doesn't have faith to drive forward in the business of the relationship or even in the relationship of the relationship. Mm-hmm. They're always kind of negative. Bad attitudes, which leads to grudges and spitefulness and popping off at the mouth, right? We have to learn to get our pride out of the way and become vulnerable. That's how we can remove some negativity. It happens about baby's mamas and my baby mama drama. how you spend money, whether you spend time together, bad communicating, good communicating. Are you are you making money? Are you progressing in your career? Are you advancing this household? Are you spending your money properly? Are you a clean person? Do you take care of things? Do you care about timelines? Do you respect me enough to, wear something, appropriate to my business meeting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
All those little innuendos can wind up really tearing the fabric of the relationship down. And that's what we really wanted to cover here tonight. There's so many more things, from pettiness to being disrespectful. One person might be greedy, another person might be selfish, another person may be quarrelsome and combative. I mean, there's lots of things that can perpetuate the negativity in a relationship. But it's important that you keep the high watch, you continue to have faith, you continue to pray over your relationship. A relationship is not natural among two people. Two people growing 360 degrees by 360 degrees oftentimes have difficulty finding the right attachment, the right connection to each other. And even if you find the right connection, 2-3 years later, that's not the connection that your relationship is leaning on. So we need to have the Lord in the midst of our relationship, and that'll help drive it all forward. I don't know if we got anything else to say on the subject. Jay, any further closing comments?
I can tell you all day long. Negativity is not just in the person that's giving it to you. It also drives within you.
Yes.
One of the things I will tell you Crab do is he has a little treatment that where I want you to make sure you listen to the show, because hopefully at the end, my man, C will play it for you. It is a mentalness what you got to watch what you do. We have negative thoughts in everyone. It's not everyone to have positivity in everything. All right? So realize we have to look at what we do before we start judging others. Because sometimes we judge and we still do. And we're hypocrites of what we're trying to preach because of what we do. I like for us to say, we ain't perfect. And this show, far from perfect. My word, far from perfect. In life, far from perfect. I'm divorced. So I messed some things up. But that don't mean I'm damaged forever. It just means that I realize I have to make better decisions. And in that, that's why we do the show. It's not about being perfect. It's about being imperfect to understand I can do better. I don't know where you're at. I don't know how I can help you. But what I can tell you is I can give of myself, but realize that we all need to come together. And it takes us to realize. There you go. Conversation rules the nation when you're given real substance. God speaks when more than one person is around. I don't do this show by myself. And that's why godliness rules when we all try to make sure we do His work.
There you go.
Work with the right people.
And this has been Bar Talk with Jay. We want to thank you folks tonight. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we really appreciate your participation here. Please like us, share us, subscribe. Like us, share us, subscribe. We're all over the internet. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. You can even go to, Letgo and Craigslist, and et cetera, et cetera. We're out there. Please send your friends and family to see us. And again, like us, share us, and subscribe. We are here every Thursday from 7 to 9, Facebook Live. And we've been doing this for almost 4 years. We have no interest in stopping. Yep. And we do it for you. We hope this has been therapeutic and good for your spirit. And we hope that you can recognize somebody who might need it. Send it to them and let them hear with this positivity and love that we're talking about. So with that, folks, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.